EPA regulates engine emissions from non-road diesel engines and has done so through multiple stages or tiers. Roger Hoy, the director of the Nebraska Tractor Test Lab, says in 2014 those rules will shift from Tier 4 interim to Tier 4 final. At the Power Farming Show Wednesday, we sat down with Roger to discuss how those regulations could impact the next tractor you buy.
Well, interim Tier 4 is an emission standard that the EPA has mandated for off-road diesel engines. And it was preceded by something that was unregulated, which might be Tier 0, and then Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. And each of these standards have become progressively more stringent about reducing particulate matter, nitrous oxides, and sulfur compounds into the atmosphere.
Tier 4 final, how would it differ from where we are right now?
Tier 4 final has a very significant reduction in particulate matter and nitrous oxides, which are very severe. It's a good way to put it is a Tier 3 tractor, which is no longer legal, driven through Los Angeles, would have cleaner air coming out the exhaust than going in the air intake.
What does it matter for the farmer? I mean, why is this important that you're moving to a different emission standard?
Well, that itself might not be important to the farmer, except that the tractors that he buys new are going to come with whatever EPA mandated tier for the time. And we are moving, starting January 14, to Tier 4 final, but the exact rollouts by model and different engine sizes widely varied. With Tier 4 interim, there's sort of two competing technologies that exist. One, the engine kind of gives up on dealing with the nitrous oxides, and it's dealt with a catalyst known as selective catalytic reduction. These are the tractors that you would add diesel exhaust fluid to, and the diesel exhaust fluid is really an aqueous urea solution that's used to convert nitrous oxides into nitrogen and oxygen, which are not harmful to the environment. So if you're considering one of those tractors, you probably ought to consider the cost of the diesel exhaust fluid as part of your operating cost like you would diesel fuel. The other technology kind of gives up on particulate matter and controls the nitrous oxides. And this one would have a regenerating particulate filter, probably. So on that sort of tractor, you would have a filter that includes the muffler, and it will collect particulate matter. And after a period of time, as the particulate matter accumulates, diesel fuel is injected into the exhaust manifold and ignited to raise the exhaust gas temperatures to convert that collected particulate matter into inert gases.
With these things in mind, is there something that you should ask when you go to the dealer or when you're looking at buying a new tractor? I mean, are there certain things that you want to be aware of?
Well, when you go to buy a tractor, you're dealing with somebody that's really interested in selling you a tractor.
Sure.
So you might not get the whole story. So one thing I would advise people in the market to do is look at the Nebraska Tractor Test reports, because we do provide some information on those reports about what diesel exhaust fluid consumption is in the SCR systems, and we also provide information about regenerating particulate filters diesel consumption as well. So that would be one place to look where we like to think you'd be getting some unbiased information.
After Tier Final 4, is there somewhere we go from there, or is that still to be determined?
Well, I think it's to be determined. There is some rulemaking in place that's going to require manufacturers to start measuring the amount of carbon dioxide emissions, but no further requirement at this point to reduce. We'll just have to see what happens there. For more information from the Nebraska Tractor Test Lab, including test results, you can visit tractortestlab.unl.edu.